What a day we have coming up at Sha Tin on Sunday with two Group 1 races. Ka Ying Rising makes an appearance. Voyage Bubble will be there amongst many other good horses on the 10-race program. Joined in the studio to talk about all things Group 1 racing by Tom Wood and Nick Child. And Nick, Ka Ying Rising, 1,400 metres.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic this time around, isn't it? He's going up in trip, first time over the 7 furlongs, if you will, in old money. But he really has looked a superstar, hasn't he? And it will take a good one to run him down.
It will. We've got a special guest joining us on the show shortly to talk about Ka Ying Rising. But Tom, are there jackpots?
There's plenty of jackpots. So Mark, hello to you. And yes, we've got 3.8 million for the 6-win bonus, so that could get up to an estimated 10 million. But like any good daytime infomercial, but wait, there's more. We've got 5.5 million for the quartet and first form merge pool, $1.5 million for race 2, a few million. We've got 2 million for the Queen Silver Jubilee Cup and 2 million for the Gold Cup. So we've splashed the cash, and Ka Ying Rising shooting for 10 in a row.
He is indeed. Now this is what is happening when it all kicks off. Where is the rail and what time the feature races are coming up on the screen right now. A course is the rail, all of the races on the turf. Just the 10 this week. 1 o'clock is the first and the 2 Group 1s, the 5th, the Queen's Silver Jubilee at 3 o'clock, and the 7th, the City Hong Kong Gold Cup at 4:05. Of course, Zac Pearson not on board Ka Ying Rising. He's out with injury. The man that replaces him, not the first time he's ridden Ka Ying Rising. Nick spoke to Karis Teetan. Ka Ying Rising comes wide, called upon now by Karis. He takes over, and it's Ka Ying Rising for the bars.
Karis Teetan, thank you so much for joining us on this hallowed turf. Now, it's not too dissimilar from what the likes of, say, an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have been playing on years ago. Now, he was renowned as a bit of a super sub. You're in the same sort of mould as a rider. You've got the call up this week for Ka Ying Rising. How are you feeling?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. It's actually a good privilege to be able to pick up a ride like Ka Ying Rising. Thankful to the owners and David for giving me the opportunity again.
How does that, I mean, obviously I don't want to pigeonhole you as a super sub jockey because you're an excellent jockey in your own right and you've finished sort of, top 3s in premierships here. But how does that sit with you, that sort of, that label, that tag, sort of, super sub? I mean, you play the role well.
Well, of course I've been in Hong Kong for a long time now, and I've just gradually sort of tried to get better every season, and the more big races you win, the more the owners and the trainers will see your performance. So yeah, to get the call up for such a big name horse, it's incredible, and just have to make the most of it now.
Yeah, I reckon a lot of those trainers have got your number on speed dial, let alone sort of just in the phone book. It shouldn't underplay the fact, obviously, you've ridden some very good ones, Karis, obviously Romantic Warrior most recently. Mr. Stunning, obviously, was a very good sprinter for you, as we all know. You rode Able Friend, you rode Designs on Rome. Yeah. It's a fairly decent list.
Yeah, I mean, I think last week we were speaking, I was saying that how many good ones I was, very lucky to be able to ride in my time in Hong Kong, and again to pick up one again now, and this time it's incredible. This is Hong Kong. The opportunity can come and goes at any time, but the one thing you just kind of have to take it with both hands and then appreciate every moment of it.
Indeed you will. You know the horse though, you have won on him at the end of last season, and obviously you've ridden him track work and trials recently. How does the horse feel? I mean, he's become quite the superstar, hasn't he?
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely improved a lot since last season. I think physically and mentally. His form showed that. He's went on and won some really major races and broke his own record a couple of times. So sitting on him again last week was nice to feel that again, how much he's improved. Yeah, it was good. He's done everything right so far. His work a couple of days ago on the big track at Sha Tin felt good. I think he's ready to go.
I want to ask you about your relationship with David Hayes as well, because obviously he speaks extremely highly of you. How is it reciprocated? Obviously, you seem to work very well together, you and David.
Yeah, I mean, David's it's a very nice guy to work with. He's very straightforward. What I like about him. But yeah, we sort of been getting along pretty well. Won a lot of races for him, of course. He's giving me the opportunity. That's the most important thing. He's giving me a lot of opportunity, and like I said, the opportunity you got to make the most of it. And again, if those kind of opportunity come again, like David has told about me, he could have, him and the owner, they could have just turned around and bring any jockey in. But they've been loyal, they've been fair, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. You've been on the receiving end of that in the past as well, of course. Another Group 1, Karis, obviously very special indeed. I think Romantic Warriors, perhaps your most recent one, but I mean, that would be quite special, wouldn't it? I mean, you're very much ingrained in Hong Kong racing now, so winning at that top level is what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, Nick, this is why we are here, and this is why we put so much work in and out, morning, afternoon, here, is to get those big races. And there's just something about the Group 1 in Hong Kong, winning those races. It's not just about the money. It's about it's just the way it feels. It's unbelievable because you can't win them all the time, and to be able to have all this hard work pay on a big day, that's just the most important. So like you said, Romantic Warrior was my last one on the Kiwi 2. So he will run on Saturday. So it will be nice to see him run, and let's hope on Sunday will be a good day for me also.
There he is, Tom Karis Teetan talking to Nick about Ka Ying Rising and all things Hong Kong. This is what he's done so far this season, sitting on 25.
Yeah, so he's not too far out sort of side of the top 3 or 4 is Karis there at the moment. Quite a few seconds, no doubt he'd like to have converted a few of those into winners, Nick, but he's got a good book of rides coming up at the weekend, and he could probably chalk up maybe two winners at least.
Yeah, he's got some very nice. I talk of Mr. Stunning. He's Mr. Reliable, isn't he, really, Karis? So XL Wong Choi there in the opener. He's got healthy as well. Gail Saga's the last start winner. With a Smile's an interesting runner. Went well on his debut, and he's got Sunday Serenade who's knocking on the door. Ensued, of course, in the Gold Cup, Mr. Energia winning gold, and Yi Chong Glory. He's got some super rides actually coming up.
He does. Yi Chong Glory, very impressive, winning on debut, goes up in grade. Here is the details for the Queen's Silver Jubilee Cup. It is race number 5 on the program. Ka Ying Rising at the top of the book. First time at 1,400 metres. It's not the first time at the distance, though, for California Spangle. Beauty Eternal's a 3-time course and distance winner. Helios Express has bumped into Ka Ying Rising 4 times this season and run 4 placings to him. How Deep Is Your Love comes up with barrier number 1. First look at 1,400 also for Invincible Sage. Red Lion, the member of the John Sy stable, Patch of Theta, and Mugen is back down the bottom. We haven't seen him since November. Blake Shin and Pierre Rong, the combination with Mugen. It is Ka Ying Rising, Tom crossing from the 9.
Yeah, he should be able to easily found the front fairly straightforward last time out. Obviously, he just needs to relax this time round. You've got maybe California Spangle is one that's going to possibly put some pressure on. Beauty Eternal's normally a horse that goes forward. Maybe they might change the tactics with him this week because he just wants to do a few things wrong and over race. Red Line, Patch of Theta, Mugen will do what he normally does, and that's get back.
He will. We start though, Nick, with the Centenary Sprint Cup, and here is Ka Ying Rising leading for home over Magic Control, who just struggles at the 1,200 metres. How Deep Is Your Love? Helios Express. The extra 200 metres going to be a big bonus for him this week?
I think so. It looks that way, doesn't it? Obviously, he's had, one try over the distance previously and ran well, but it does look as if the extra furlong won't be any inconvenience to him. But, I mean, focusing very much on the winner, of course. I mean, he's the second highest rated horse here in Hong Kong, and, he's absolutely left them sort of trailing, and he's made them look ordinary to some degree there, Tom, but they're certainly not.
No, they're certainly not, that's for sure. And he was running on at the end there, and had he not been held up maybe at the 300-400 metres there, he could have maybe put another length and a half, length and 3/4 maybe into that margin there of Ka Ying Rising last time out. So it just was a little bit luckless at the top of the straight.
Here's his troller, Chung Fa Tom. Ka Ying Rising was able to drop in behind the leader, and he looked to be doing it very comfortably.
Certainly did, and Karis went up to Chung Fa and trialled him here, and just was hands and heels. Karis didn't really have to move. Obviously, on the size side, Sham Express is a lot of speed there, but his dam side, there's a fair bit of staying prowess. So 1,400 metres shouldn't be an issue, just would need to settle and relax, which he has been doing. Absolutely.
Look, it's hard to put any real negative on it, to be honest with you.
There's his profile. He goes so fast, he blisters the paint off the graphic. Rating 132, 9 races in a row, including 2 Group 1s, and the 1,200 metre track record holder is Ka Ying Rising. California Spangle. Nick, there's still talk of Dubai going back to the Al Quoz, but his trial's been good. Race day, he's back at the crossroads again.
Yeah, he's just been lacking, hasn't he? Which is a shame. I mean, look, we've seen it before and we've seen him bounce back, so don't underestimate him returning to form. Beauty Generation was the last 7-year-old to win this race, so look, the older he gets, the more probably vulnerable he is getting a little bit to younger horses. But look, the trial was good. It certainly suggested to me, Tom, that he's in pretty good fettle and decent well-being, but he would need to bring it to race day now.
Yeah, won it by 4 lengths, but we've seen this movie before where he turns up at the trials and performs and runs well, and then race day doesn't put in his best. If he doesn't run well this weekend, they couldn't possibly entertain Dubai.
These three, Tom, Helios Express, Red Lion and Beauty Eternal. We touched on Helios Express. You give the other two out of the John Sire stable, be it Red Lion and Beauty Eternal, a show.
Well, I think Beauty Eternal's at a bit of a crossroads at the moment, to be fair as well. He was up outside the leader again last time out and looked a bit one-paced over the last 200 metres. Held his ground here in the trial. I actually give Red Lion some sort of a chance here. This is his preferred go. Nick, 1,400 metres, that's his distance here.
It is, yeah. Look, and he was third in this race last year. He shouldn't be underestimated, Red Lion. He really shouldn't, because he can mix it with Group 1 horses, that's for sure. And as Tom said, he loves this trip.
He does. 5-time course and distance winner is Red Lion. Mugen, Nick. Now, this is a recent trial from him up at Chung Fa. We haven't seen him for a good few months. He likes pace being on. Will he get enough of that, and how much start is he going to have to give Ka Ying Rising?
Well, look, exactly that. And I mean, look, there should be a decent enough pace on in a race like this. I mean, Beauty Eternal and California Spangled plus Ka Ying Rising, obviously all likely to add a bit of spice as far as the pace is concerned. Decent enough trial. Look, he's got a local marker of 110. That's £22 to find with Ka Ying Rising. I think he's got plenty to find, Tom.
Yeah, well, he didn't do much in Japan, did he? And I just wonder if that trip sort of has flattened him a bit, hence the reason he's had a freshen up. But looked to be in good form in that trial, but does need to lift on that last performance.
The 1-2 good. Tommy going Hail Mary play.
No, it's all Ka Ying Rising. As long as he can get to the front here and relax, and look, he probably doesn't need to force the issue with California Spangle if he's hell-bent on leading, but Ka Ying Rising, the world's best sprinter, the one to beat. Helios Express in for second, Red Line, and How Deep Is Your Love, not without a chance as well. 1, 4, 7 and 5.
Yeah, very hard to look beyond David Hayes' runner here, Ka Ying Rising. He really is a star, this horse, isn't he? Over Helios Express there in for second. Look, Red Line in for third. I think he can run well. And Patcha Theta will give him a bit of a chance here. Harry Bentley rides 1, 4, 7 and 8.
That is the preview for Group 1. Number 1, don't go away. Back with a whole lot more after this, including the preview of the second Group 1 at Sha Tin on Sunday. Welcome back to Racing to Win. Before we get on to the Citi Hong Kong Gold Cup, Tom, it's time to reveal the last run reminder leading into this race, and it's this week at least. It's race number 8.
Yeah, he's a good chance, I think, this weekend is Victory Sky. And let's have a look at his last performance here at Sha Tin, where he was back in the field. He's trained by Ricky Ewart. He's lighting up this week with the shadow roll going on for the first time. He'd won overseas prior to arriving. He's by US Navy flag and 1.1 seconds outside the standard time here, and he's chased home Prince of Porty. But there he is on the outside in the white cap. I thought he stayed on relatively well in this race, so I think he's definitely got a chance the way he went here and wasn't overly far from them. So I think he's certainly a good chance this weekend. Race 8, number 9, Victory Sky.
That is the last run reminder for Sunday at Sha Tin. It's time now to focus on the Citi Hong Kong Gold Cup.
Voyage Bubble, who's got such solid claims.
It's Voyage Bubble, the leader. He's 3 in front. Voyage Bubble's going to see it out, and he's going to be the king of the mile. Voyage Bubble is the leader. He won it last year, and again, he wins the Stewards Cup.
He's superb, isn't he? He's a privilege to ride.
He's now won the first leg, Ricky, of the Triple Crown. Like, next step, are we thinking Gold Cup?
We're going to give you a crack, the Triple Crown.
It's been a long time. If he heads to the Triple Crown, might try and get River Verdon in here in the studio for the episode.
Has he got wheels?
Well, I'm sure we can get some put on. He's in the Hong Kong Racing Museum. Is River Verdon, the last winner of the Triple Crown. The Citi Hong Kong Gold Cup has Voyage Bubble looking for leg 2 of it. Galaxy Patron second in the Derby at his only time over the 2,000 metres. Cheng Cheng Glory won the Centenary Vase last time, and Shude's a 2-time course and distance winner. We've got the regulars, 5G Patch and La City Blanche, and a staying feature down the bottom. And Winnie Dragon's racing well. He makes his way into Group 1 company for the first time, but does have 126 pounds on his back. Onto the speed map here, Tom. We zoom into Brenton Avdullah's backside and go from there.
We do. Sword Point, who is on his way to Dubai, he can go forward to here and set up the pace, which should be good to here for the 2,000 metres into the first turn. Not far away is Winning Dragon. He's up on the outside there, Winning Dragon, with Voyage Bubble, who should secure a lovely run on the trail there for James McDonald out with barrier number 1. Then you've got Chang Cheng Glory, who pretty much raced in this sort of similar position to where he won from last time out over the 1,800 metres. And then, as per normal, Galaxy Patch, he'll go back because he doesn't have a great deal of early pace and he can be tardy away, and he could be back there with his other Patch brother, 5G Patch, at the back, who is going to be ridden by Brenton Avdulla.
He is indeed. Nick, we go back to the previous winners of this race, and a horse that we won't see in Hong Kong this weekend, but we will see him overseas. Romantic Warrior won it last year.
He did indeed, yes, and well, there isn't much he hasn't won, I suppose, but yeah, obviously not in this year's lineup. Golden 60, obviously, what a super horse he was. He's run there, Tom, obviously stopped by Russian Emperor, who was so good a few years ago.
Yeah, and of course, Time Warp amongst that list as well, but some good names. Werther, Designs on Rome, Military Attack, Viva Bataka. So some of the best we've ever had here in Hong Kong have always won this race.
Absolutely, and we'll find out, Tom, if Voyage Bubble is going to add his name to it or someone else from you shortly. But we will start with the Stewards Cup win of Voyage Bubble. Galaxy Patch second, and Cheng Cheng Glory, of course, has won since this race.
He's just bulletproof, really, when it comes to racing as Voyage Bubble. Of course, he can just put him up somewhere near the speed. He relaxes, he travels well, and in the end put them to the sword well and truly, at least at the 300 metres last time out, and won it really easily at the line. Obviously, Galaxy Patch, just the way some of the races have been run, Nick, and some of the tempo and his racing style, at quite a few of these sort of races, the mile, this sort of trip, just it seems to find him sort of come undone, doesn't it?
It does a little bit, yeah, for sure. And look, as for Voyage Bubble, he's like just a good wine, isn't he? He's just getting better and better with age, this horse.
He is. Now, this is his trial, Nick. You can see him just off the bit coming to the turn once or twice, but we heard from Ricky Yu that he was resenting the kickback, and when he hooks to the outside, runs on strongly, and Ensued's down there on the rail figures prominently.
Yeah, look, it'd be some sort of chance, you'd have to think. Ensued, obviously trained by John Size, so you'd never rule one of his out, or ruling him out at your peril for sure. Look, I mean, Voyage Bubble's trialled nice enough here once he's got in the clear and down the outside, and you know, it all depends really on what he does race day, Tom. I mean, trials are trials, but on race day, as you say, he is bulletproof.
Yeah, no concerns as well with the 2,000 metres. Of course, when he won the BMW Hong Kong Derby, he did it from barrier number 14. He's up on that rating of, at the moment, 130. His domestic rating and international rating of 120.
It's not bad at all. James McDonald in town to ride him after riding in Saudi at the weekend too. On we go now to the opposition. Nick spoke to a last start winner in Cheng Cheng Glory. The man on board is Hugh Bowman.
Hugh Bowman, big day of racing on Sunday. Group 1 double header. You've got rides in both races, but the Gold Cup, Cheng Cheng Glory, recent winner for you. It's a tougher task, but he's in form.
Yes, well, he's going to meet some classier horses than last time, but it was a lot of merit in his performance with that win. And, you know, I just love the way he went about business. He jumped out quickly, put himself in a favourable position, and you know, when I needed him in the straight, he was there. So he sort of goes down with the set weights conditions. He drops a few pounds, but as I said, he's meeting some classier opposition at the same weight.
He certainly is, and obviously on that run in the Centenary Vase last time, obviously has the beating of the majority. You mentioned just the way he sort of goes about his business. I mean, he is the epitome of that really honest, genuine type of horse, isn't he, this guy?
He certainly is, and, you know, his form is very consistent, and, you know, it was only this time last year that he was narrowly defeated by Helios Express in the Classic Cup, so he's proven that the distance is certainly to his advantage, and look, I think he's a worthy challenger to the top weight.
Talking of worthy, you won this race with Werther, didn't you, a few years ago? So nice memories, I'm sure.
Yes, he's certainly got some fond memories of Werther, and it'd be lovely if we could repeat that feeling with Cheng Cheng Glory.
There is Tom Hugh Bowman. Where's Cheng Cheng Glory at?
I think he's right in the mix here. He's obviously got four less pounds to carry this time around. It was quite a strong win, decisive win in the end for him in the Centenary Vase. Stalked the leader and it was too good for them, and I think he deserves his place here.
He certainly does, yeah. No, look, as I said and asked Hugh there, he's a very consistent horse and always seems to give his running and comes into it in winning form, so he's certainly valuing this.
Good rap from the boys for Ching Ching Glory. Galaxy Patch, Nick, this is him running third in a recent trial. Blake Shin in town to ride. He knows the horse well. 2,000 metres for just the second time this week.
It is indeed, and obviously ran a mighty race there in the Derby, didn't he? But he's still a horse. I can't quite sort of put my finger on where his best trip might well lie, to be honest with you. He's quite versatile, if anything. And as you say, Blake does know the horse really well. Won this race a few years ago with Russian Emperor. But trials have looked good. Preparation looks good there, Tom. And he could be the one to give Voyage Bubble most to think about.
And obviously Zach Purton was supposed to be riding this horse, but they've given Blake Shin the opportunity again. Matthew Poon was on board in that trial. Just the way some of the races have been run here in Hong Kong, his racing style, it probably hasn't given himself the best chance to win, I feel.
Poor Poon Train, he's ridden Voyage Bubble and Galaxy Patch in the lead-up trials and has to watch it from the jockey's room.
And even if J-Mac doesn't get here, which every indication he will, Jerry Chow's the standby runner.
Poor old Poon Train. Anyway, that's for the trainers and owners to decide. We need selections, please, Tom.
Yeah, Voyage Bubble, the one to beat here for Ricky Yu and James McDonald from Barry at number 1. Galaxy Patch is in. I quite like Ensued as well now. He's obviously £5 worse off with Ching Ching Glory, and he was held together last time out. And the other one I've got in is Ching Ching Glory for Hugh Bowman and Francis Lloyd, 1, 2, 4 and 3.
Yeah, top 4 numbers here I think are the ones to be. I've gone the 1, 2, 3, 4 in this race, and Voyage Bubble should well be the one to beat. I think Galaxy Patch goes in for second. Ching Ching Glory, I'm sure he'll give his running. He's certainly a top 4 contender and Ensued. He looks like he could well be making up into this type of horse over the 2,000 metres, and I think he gets his chance here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Matthew Poon will be watching from home. He's actually suspended for this meeting, so he wouldn't be able to ride them anyway, even if he wanted to. So that is the reason he wasn't in the mix for the rides if James didn't get here. All the races on the website, hkjc.com. Click on audio and video. We need your best bet, please, Tom.
Best bet comes up nice and early. We'll fire off in race 1 with Seamus Storm, who will put up a really strong performance here first up, and he covered a lot of ground in the start. Missed his next intended start with a heart irregularity at the pre-race veterinary inspection, but he's trialled well since. Was no match for Indeed here last start, but with the right sort of run, which he should get from Barry number 1, I think he'll be tough to beat Seamus Storm. The value, I thought, probably in one of the more open races on the card, Lucky Generations, and this horse here, trained by Casper Founds, Luke Ferraris out of barrier 13, stepping to a mile, and the play in the first with the ever so consistent Etalon Orr, who consistently draws wide, Dreaming Winner and Seamus Storm.
Yeah, best bet for me coming up on Gold Cup Day, race 6, number 4, Gold Master. Andrea Atzani will be on board. I thought this was a win full of merit last time out. He's shown a ready turn of foot here to go and put it to bed in a matter of strides, this horse. He goes up £7 for the victory. He has had a trial since, so he's kept up nicely to the mark, and I think the way he's won there, he could well be value for more going forward. Lightly raced horse. The value, race 9, number 7, Tamara Blitz. He's on a handy enough sort of mark. Conditions suit him. Douglas White, Hugh Bowman team up there. And the play, race 10, 5, 9 and 14 are the numbers in the last.
John Size horses hard to beat at the moment, and Brenton Avdulla has been racking up the winners. They'll partner race 8, number 8, Janu Pride. Been very consistent in 5 starts. Thought Jimmy Orman had an opportunity to get his first win in Hong Kong at his second day of riding on Kempes, who's been trialling well, and the play comes up race 8, Patch of Cosmo, Janu Pride and Mr. Energia in a QQP. That is a look at Group 1 day for Sha Tin on Sunday. Here is the diary. It all kicks off from Trackside Live at 12:30. And then on Wednesday night, Nick, it is the culmination of the DBS Manulife Million Challenge Final.
It certainly is, yeah, and all still to play for there, Tom.
Yes, there's still a bit happening there. We've got a couple of Class 1 races. One has got a little bit light on numbers. Maybe Sonpak Fu not the worst in that race after his 4th 2 runs there. He's got a lightweight.
Yet going back to Happy Valley for him, and the Classic Cup coming up on Sunday week. So a whole lot of top quality racing coming up in Hong Kong over the next 7 or 8 days. A big thanks to you, thanks to the boys, both Nick and Tom, that has been racing to win on a dual Group 1 day at Sha Tin. The first gets underway at 1 o'clock.